Hello and welcome to Cleveland Classic Cinema. Today's movie is 1960's legendary The Little Shop of Horrors, starring Jonathan Hayes, Jackie Joseph, and Mel Wells. For the few of you that haven't seen it, it's about a Skid Row flower shop assistant named Seymour Krelboyne who, when he crosses the seeds of a Venus flytrap and something else, breeds a strange hybrid plant that no one can identify. Naming it Audrey Jr. after the girl he secretly loves, he brings the plant into work, and when it begins to grow at a phenomenal rate, both him and Mushnick's flower shop become wildly successful. There are two odd things about Audrey Jr., however. It can talk, and it eats people. Little Shop of Horrors is an interesting movie for several reasons. It was produced and directed pretty much as an afterthought by Roger Corman, known as the King of the B's. For the sake of definition, B movies were low-budget films made to fill the second half of double feature bills. The main attraction, usually a big studio film, was known as the A feature, and the lower budget, small studio picture was known as the B feature. Roger Corman started in the motion picture business as a messenger at 20th Century Fox. After about 6 months, he landed a job as a story analyst, reading scripts. He left Fox and went to Stanford on the GI Bill before living in Europe for another year. Arriving back in the States, Corman sold a script to Allied Artists that was made into a movie called Highway Dragnet. While reading the newspaper one day, he ran across an article about a company that had built a one-man submarine and got the idea for his first movie as a producer, Monster from the Ocean Floor. Made for $12,000 and directed by Wyatt Ordung, it also marked the first screen appearance of Jonathan Hayes, who became a member of Corman's stock company, in addition to appearing as Seymour Krelboyne in the movie you're about to see. After producing his second movie, The Fast and the Furious, he decided to become a director and eventually directed, produced, or executive produced over 300 movies. Corman helped to start the careers of Martin Scorsese, Joe Dante, and Jonathan Demme, among others. He's still just as active today as a producer and actor, having appeared in The Godfather Part 2, Silence of the Lambs, Apollo 13, and most recently, Looney Tunes Back in Action. He's also going to appear in the soon-to-be-released remake of The Manchurian Candidate. Jonathan Hayes, who plays Seymour, appeared in 29 movies for Roger Corman and is also involved on the other side of the camera as a writer and producer. He wrote one of my favorite movies, Invasion of the Star Creatures. Jackie Joseph, who plays Audrey Folkward, is one of those actresses you've seen a million times but can never put a name to. She's appeared in many movies, including King Creole with Elvis, Gremlins and Gremlins 2, The New Batch, and doing quite a bit of voiceover work in cartoons and commercials. One of the most interesting things about The Little Shop of Horrors is the way it came into existence. After hearing about a standing office set for a film that had wrapped at the producer's studio, Corman called his writer, Chuck Griffith, who also appears in the movie as a robber, and told him that he wanted to shoot a new film. There were only two conditions. It had to be written for a standing set, and they had 2 days to shoot it. The script was written, the set redressed as a flower shop, the cast rehearsed for 3 days, and the movie was finished 2 days later. It made a small profit after earning back its negative cost of $30,000, but became a cult film through repeated showings on television in the 1960s. It was eventually adapted into an off-Broadway musical, of which the less said about, the better. One more thing. While watching the movie, you may notice a character named Wilbur Force in the dentist office is played by another one of Corman's stock company, a young man named Jack Nicholson. So right now, sit back, relax, and enjoy Little Shop of Horrors, right here on Cleveland Classic Cinema.